Welcome back to the CryptoFather channel. Today is the 23rd of September, and today I'm joined by Kevin from Palladium, who's going to help us figure out the situation with TradeOgre, and hopefully we'll get some answers to some burning questions I know that people were asking about the recovery of the funds from the nuclear fallout that is TradeOgre. Hi, Kevin. Welcome.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
So I guess the first question that I've asked you before we started recording is that I was asking myself because I wasn't quite sure, but you are part of the Palladium team, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, I'm part of the core team. I'm primarily involved with investor relations and business development. If you come to the conferences that we're going to be attending, you'll get to see me in person. We'll be at the Futurist Conference in Miami the first week in November. That'll be kind of people's first chance to kind of see us in person, because we are a relatively new project. TradeOgre was the only exchange that we were listed on this year. We just listed on there in March of this year, and then everyone knows what happened at the end of July. So
yeah,
it's been kind of an interesting journey for all of us so far.
Indeed. And so just a quick comment on the appearance of the videos. I am running this video through Teams, and I'm not used to Teams. I haven't done conference calls before. So that's why Kevin is the prominent feature, he is the prominent speaker anyway, and I'm just a tiny dude on the side, which is not going to change. That's the side. Okay. And so the other thing I guess that people were asking was about the legal team. Who are they? Why have you chosen to represent why have you chosen that particular team to represent you in this case?
Right. Well, our Palladium's based, DeployDash is the parent company, and we're based out of the Czech Republic. So anytime we do anything legal, we're going to use an attorney from the same area as where our business is registered.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're going with the attorney that I sent you the link for before we started the call. And as far as like what the fees are going to be, that's going to be determined on people's geographic areas. So people in the EU, their fees will be a little less, say, than someone in the US or outside of the EU.
Okay, yeah, so that was one of the other questions that people were asking. What would be the fees? Are you aware of what the fees would be? Like if somebody decided to join you guys in and be part of this case, what would be the fees involved?
Yeah, they're going to be somewhere between $200 if you're in the EU and probably up to maybe like $500 if you're outside of the EU. It's going to depend on the region that you're in and how much, extra paperwork is going to be required. For someone in your region.
And so would that be like a one flat fee, or is it just kind of a introductory fee, and then there would be additional fees post while the case continues?
That's to get you representation in the case.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course you're going to have to be vetted and everything, because if you read through all our disclaimers and stuff, we got to kind of make sure that we're not representing criminals.
Sure. Yeah, so I mean, I assume that there would be a regular KYC procedure and people would have to submit all that stuff. And that's completely understood. I'm sure that people are aware of it, despite the fact that, TradeOgre was a non-KYC entity. But I mean, we're past that point of that, being a thing. So
that does make this a little more challenging.
Sure.
For sure. So yeah, not only, you gotta kind of have to do the best you can to kind of verify that you had ownership of that account, whether it's if you can provide some API keys that you had on that account, or deposit withdrawal addresses that you transacted with through that account. Those are like some of the general information that you're going to have to provide initially to see if you qualify to be represented with our law firm that we're using.
Yeah, so it's just be regular steps of verification to make sure you're not a quote-unquote criminal, whatever that may mean. But yeah, IDs and
that might have different meanings to different people.
Right, exactly. And also different regions, right? Just looking at some of the questions that people posted on X here. How can users get their funds back? So I guess this would be one step of doing it, contacting. So because there is a website, right, and that's been posted on X. Basically, there is a website that is linked. It's on through your Palladium website. Is that correct? I think.
That's correct.
Yeah,
we're kind of helping the attorney out by, creating an intake process for the potential people that could be represented.
Yeah, so I went over this in yesterday's video, and it's through your website, pll.net, TradeOgre Recovery. And so that's the first step that people would need to take in order to get in touch with your company and I guess potentially with the legal firm, right? Present your name, email, phone number, message. I guess the message would be
yeah, what assets you recall having, on the exchange, and
right.
Yeah, basically whatever you can recall. You don't have to submit screenshots or anything yet.
Just kind of expressing your interest in being part of this legal team.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And what we'll have pretty soon is right now we're just kind of collecting general information, but pretty soon when people submit their information, they will get the option to basically get the NDA at the end, like after they submit their information. The NDA will get generated, and they can get that signed, notarized, or there'll be specific instructions depending on the region that they're in, what they'll need to do with those documents to get representation if they choose to do so.
All right, so we've got that covered. So we've got the legal fees, that's been covered, and the requirements in order to be put on the list of potential plaintiffs, in addition to Palladium, the Palladium team. I guess, okay, one of the questions was, is the RCMP being cooperative, and are they willing to have their own application process for people affected? I'm not sure if you'd be aware of it, but I guess the question would be, what's the law firm's name? So this is a law firm based in Czech Republic, or
yes,
BKKP.
out of Prague. Yep.
So were they able to establish contact with the RCMP? Like, have they been communicating with the RCMP?
Yes, we have already. We actually started a couple days before. Like, we attempted to contact them a couple days before, but they didn't really start communicating with us until they put out their
official announcement.
On the 19th.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's kind of what I thought as well. Because I remember somebody messaging me saying that they tried contacting the RCMP and they said they have no knowledge of it. And I figured they probably wouldn't tell you anything about an ongoing case prior to releasing some official announcement on the media.
Yeah, that's what our assumption was as well.
Right. Okay. But there was communication since then with the RCMP, and
yeah, and we had actually, we need to get that to get more information. Yet we're opening it up with the Czech police. They have to kind of initiate that channel for us, legally, before we can get more information of how this process is going to work and how we can actually start recovering funds. So there's going to be time. So like what we're doing right now is just trying to get a feel of how many people would be looking for assistance in the process.
Okay. Is there a time frame for submitting your requests? Like, if people chose to join, let's call it your team for the sake of ease, to join your team, what's the time frame within which they should be submitting these claims?
Right now, I would just say submit them as soon as possible, because as every day goes by, when we're communicating, that's when we'll know, like, if there's going to be a cutoff, or if people have so much time, because we're dealing with government entities. If the funds aren't claimed, they're going to claim them for themselves, and then most of the time they sell them. But now the governments are starting to use them to stockpile their own crypto reserves. So
right.
They seize funds. So I would recommend, not that I can give any legal advice, but I would recommend, taking action as soon as possible in
Okay.
matters like this.
Yeah. Yeah. So the advice is, and again, this is because I know that some people contacted me and the amount of crypto that they actually held on TradeOgre does not justify, pursuing legal actions even on their own. So I guess this is more geared towards people who may have had a few $1,000s on TradeOgre, let's say 10K on TradeOgre or more. In that case, I would suggest contacting Kevin or contacting the Palladium team through the form that's listed on the website, because that's probably the best chance of getting anything done before all of it disappears, like you said.
Or getting some answers, because any individual calling up, it's going to be tough. Probably to get information, and then for them to validate that you are who you say you are. And
right. And since you are dealing with the RCMP, I don't know if a lot of people understand, but like the RCMP is the equivalent of the FBI in Canada and in the States, right? So they basically take care of all the federal stuff that you would expect that you see on TV, the FBI taking care of, but the RCMP is not as tooted about as the FBI would have been. But they're just as difficult to get through as the FBI would be in terms of information or sharing of information, right? So if you do have legal representation, you probably stand a better chance of receiving some and getting some answers from them. I did email them, and I just received a response this morning. Basically, so I sent them a nicely worded message asking what the regarding any information, what the procedure would be regarding the TradeOgre, and the one sentence reply I received was just call us on this phone number, which is the phone number that was indicated on the site from which I got the email address. So I'm wondering, what is the point of even adding an email address if that's the response? Like, email us so we can give you the phone number that we've already given on the website from which you've got the email address. So anyway, I would say as an individual person, so I'm going to try to call them just to get some additional info. But like I said, if you have some more than $1,000 on your TradeOgre account, then I would suggest contact the Palladium team and go through that route, because
you don't have too many options.
No, there aren't many options. And like you said, I guess once the time passes and they decide that there is nobody willing to claim the funds, they'll just be either locked up in some governmental crypto reserve or sold off. There's somebody posted the question, prove to us what they're doing is legitimate and not just another scam. I guess people are concerned about the legitimacy of the legal representation, right?
Yep. Well, like I said, I gave you the link to the website for the attorneys, so I would definitely have people check it out, before they commit to anything or sign any documents. Check it out from many angles. Don't just go on the website, but maybe check like their X account, or call them directly, verify. Don't just take my word for it.
Exactly.
Or what you read on one website.
Do your own diligence.
Yep, do your due diligence. In this day and age, that's very critical. And I think what we can just say from our project standpoint is we are trying to do everything within the right legal framework that needs to be done inside our project. So anything that we do, we want to have that same transparency, the same accountability with everything that we take on in this project. This task being included, because we're in the same position as anyone that had funds on TradeOgre, right? The project had liquidity on the site, we had tokens on the site,
and it was a substantial amount of tokens as well, right?
Correct. Yeah, the total Palladium tokens were a substantial amount. The project, they weren't all the projects. They were spread across various accounts on TradeOgre, but we had other assets on there besides Palladium as well. So we're doing what we can to claim those funds. we had started this process, several weeks ago already. It's just we couldn't really move forward or make anything public, until they made their announcement. So, that's why it may appear that it's just popping up out of the blue, but we've actually been working on this for several weeks.
Yeah, okay.
To get this ready.
Yeah, because there was a post made, or I was attached to one of the posts all of a sudden, I think just a couple of days ago, and that fell off. My hackles always rise when I see stuff like that, just because there's so many scams going around these days. Like every single chance people get, you see these, scammers popping up, trying to recover funds, this, then that, and the other. So I'm always very cautious.
Yeah, and I would encourage people, check out the Palladium project too, because how we do things, that kind of speaks to our character.
Yeah.
So take some time, read our white paper. That explains how we're doing things from a legal standpoint. Because we're doing things a little differently with our NFTs. That's all going to be done under a legal framework. That we've set up. With the starting in the Czech Republic, and then that's going to branch out to other places in the world after we launch it. Which will be coming up soon. It's going to be launched this year, our NFT platform. So, I encourage people to take a look at that. We're not just some fly-by-night company.
Yeah.
We're doing this to be here for the long term. So. We're not going to do anything that would, jeopardize our character at all.
Yeah, well, that should be confidence instilling in those who are questioning whether it's legitimate or legal company is legitimate or not. And I guess for people who are considering joining the legal team, or not the legal team, but the team, the Palladium team in the battle here, like Palladium's like Kevin just said, you guys have a substantial amount of assets that were locked in TradeOgre, so it's in your best interest to make sure that all of these assets and whatever else comes along is recovered and doesn't end up in the hands of a government that just willy-nilly decides that they're going to take it over. So I guess for people who are considering, like I said again, this would apply for people with an amount that justifies the legal fees. Obviously, if you have $1,000, if you had $1,000 on TradeOgre, this may not be worth it. You might have to write it off. But if you did have a significant amount of holdings on TradeOgre, then this is probably your best bet to get involved with Palladium.
Yeah, but if you're in the EU, I think $1,000 I would still probably look into it. I think I would rather get a good portion of it back than get nothing back.
True. Yeah. So there is also, just looking at the Palladium website, there's an for questions or legal inquiries, contact us at info@plld.net. Is that an email directly to you guys, right? To Palladium?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if people have any questions about specific fees, although we've already talked about this, Kevin doesn't really have like a specific answer. There are fees that are involved. You need to cough up a little fee to actually hire the lawyers, and then post that there will be an additional some additional fees for whatever things come up. But if people have any other questions,
that will all be clarified in the contract too. So
right, okay. So, yeah. But for the initial contact, just fill out the form that is shared, and I'm going to share the website to the legal firm Bultask Vitokova Kareta Partneri. Okay, very good. So I'm going to share that link below the video, so you guys can check it out if you're interested. Check out the company, have a look through it, and then if you have any other questions, just contact, go through the Palladium website and shoot those guys an email through info@plld.net. Those are the two routes.
I can answer your questions for free. If you go to an attorney, that might cost some.
Right, exactly. Yeah. if you have any specific questions, just bug Kevin about them. All right, cool.
Yeah, my hourly rate is a lot better than most attorneys.
Yeah, right. Well, that's it, I guess. That's going to be a quick video, quick update. Don't mean to keep you away from everything else. But the information is out there. Some of the info in terms of legal fees is out there. Those are the main questions that people were asking, because everybody wants to know how to get the money back and how much is it going to cost to get the money back.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like, at the end, there's going to be, you know, because attorneys are involved, there's always settlement fees. So, you know, that will probably become, you know, more available once we get further into the process.
Okay. I guess one more question is winning fee. Is there a winning fee, or is that, I guess, what you mean by settlement fee?
Yeah, that would. I think your, you know, recovery fee.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, folks. That's all she wrote. Check out Palladium. Check out Kevin's project. I guess one question I had: why was TradeOgre the only exchange that Palladium was listed on? Why were there no other exchanges?
We were actually just before it went down, we were in the process of getting on the next exchange. We had a inside connection. That's why we started out with TradeOgre first.
Okay. Man, I know there's a bunch of, like, I've mined some coins, not a lot, but I mined some coins directly into TradeOgre, because it was, you know, it's easy. It's easy if you're a miner, if you're sending your coins. TradeOgre was a good place to go, because it was the volume was good. It was pretty easy to use. There wasn't, you know, the KYC hassle. A lot of people just don't want to deal with that, not for criminal reasons, but just out of the pure absence of necessity to
the privacy of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's we were in the same boat. I mean, a lot of us on the team had used that site for years, so
that's the price you pay for for comfort, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's why we always recommend, you know, never keep too much crypto on an exchange, right? You should always keep it in a custodial wallet.
Exactly. That's another point. All right, Kevin, that's it. Those are all the questions. If you guys have, if there's anybody out there who is interested in following the case and getting involved, then you can check out, I will post a link to the legal firm below the video, so have a look through that. Check out the Palladium site that provides you with all the necessary information on how to get involved, how to become part of the team. The info email is there as well, and Kevin says he's open to questions, so shoot them to Kevin. And I guess people could also post them on X, through X directly, right? But I guess if you have any more private information or longer emails, then you might want to shoot it through the email, and that would make it easier.
Exactly.
All right, Kevin, fantastic. Any last words to share, to add?
No, just thanks for having me on. I'm glad I got a chance to kind of clarify what we're attempting to do, and I hope people take advantage of it. I hope we can recover a significant amount of funds for people. Yeah.
Thanks for joining, Kevin. Thank you for agreeing to meet me up here, and hopefully that this, you know, let's hope this works out for you guys, man, and for anybody else who decides to get involved as well. All right. Thanks a lot, man. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. So I just had a chat with Kevin after I stopped recording. We continued chatting a little bit more, and just wanted to convey something that Kevin said. The Palladium team have contacted, after the TradeOgre fallout, they themselves have contacted the cyber criminal leg of the police in the Czech Republic in order to try to recover some of their funds from TradeOgre. So they've done that before actually letting out the announcement. The reason for why the Palladium announcement was so sudden is because they were waiting for the RCM to make an official statement first. They didn't want to come out with announcement that they're providing legal support prior to having an announcement from the RCMP being made official. And the reason why Palladium have decided to share this with a wider audience was because they figured that it would probably be a good idea to, you know, help them cut costs a little bit, but also help people who may be in a similar boat as they are to hopefully, possibly recover some of the seized funds. Because the reality of the matter is, TradeOgre is gone. It's not coming back online. The only existing owner, as far as we know, and as far as the RCMP is concerned, is deceased, and there are no other people, no other individuals that could claim TradeOgre to be their owner, that could claim to be the owner of the former TradeOgre exchange. And so literally there's no way about it. That's it. It's gone. So the only way of receiving your funds is either through the options that is put forth by Palladium, or doing it through your own means, through your own route. If you want to pursue the option that was discussed in this video through Palladium, then this is the form. The form, I believe, is below the video. I think I maybe I didn't link it, but it's linked through the X account, through my X account. It's linked through there. There's also the email here that you can message Kevin and his team directly. It's info@plld.net. You can message them directly to ask any questions. But I would suggest, if you are considering joining the Palladium team in this legal court case, I would suggest to express your interest first, and then you can get some information. I'm sure they'll be gathering some information from you. You will need to pass a KYC, provide them with enough information like we discussed, and do all of that. You know what the fees are? The fees are involved, like in any legal case, anywhere $200 to $500 for hiring the lawyers, and then there are, you know, ongoing fees, all of that stuff. So you're free to do that by yourself, but also you are given this chance to join the Palladium team in pursuing this as well. I want to say have a good day, but unfortunately, man, this doesn't feel like a good day. I mean, this video is not really a positive one. I mean, it's positive in some way, but I mean, the topic of it is, you know, it's kind of a downer, right? TradeOgre is done. It's gone. The only way that we can recover our funds is by going through this means or contacting other lawyers in your jurisdiction. As I mentioned, the RCMP has gotten back to me, but the only thing they said is the email that we provided you with, you know, you shouldn't contact us through that. Just give us a call through the phone numbers that we've given you. So I'm going to try to give the RCMP a shout and have somebody on the phone to ask them questions. And I got to figure out the questions that I'm going to ask, because there's no point of calling them if I've got nothing you know, solid to ask. And the Canadian government officials can be aloof, so it's gotta be targeted. In any case, please make sure to smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. Oh, one more thing I forgot is, so the legal firm that Kevin shared that Palladium is dealing with, this is the legal firm, law office, Bultask, Vitkova, Kareta, our services, partners law offices, distinguished legal firm based in Prague, offering comprehensive and high-level legal service across various key areas of law. Our clientele spans from individuals to medium and large enterprises, reflecting our commitment to providing quality legal support for a diverse range of needs. So there you go. You can contact them here. You could message them if you wanted to find out more. And of course, before you agree to anything, make sure that you do your own research, do your own due diligence, you know, find out stuff before. That's I think understood. They've been around since 2006. Our team of lawyers possesses a profound understanding of the Czech legal and business landscape, allowing us to offer comprehensive legal services to both Czech and international clients. And so the reason why Palladium has chosen this team is because their business is based out of the Czech Republic. Kevin is the one person who is based out of the States, but he is part of the core team, core dev team on the Palladium team. So it makes sense for them to have contacted this company out of the Czech Republic, if you're ever wondering why they're doing it with these guys. So this is the reason why, right? In any case, find out through this means, find out through the email address that is attached to Palladium team. And of course, you can also shoot me a message, and you know, you will get some information from me that I can share with you, which I haven't shared in this video yet. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Hope this helps a little bit answer some of your questions. All the links will be, I will put them, link them to the video below. Make sure to smash the likes, hit that little bell notification button so you don't miss any other videos upcoming, and I will see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day, as good as it can be. Peace.